It's Tuesday, July 18th, 2023. We're in the library of the St. George Greek Orthodox Cathedral in Manchester, New Hampshire. And we've invited Chrysanthe, Labanaris, Nagios. And Chrysanthe, thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.
So, how old are you? Yes.
I just turned 80.
You turned 80, and you were born here?
No, I was born in Greece.
Where?
My mom was born here.
Okay.
But when she was about 7 or 8, she had a sister and a brother younger than her. Her mom got sick, so she took my grandmother and my grandfather. They took the kids and they went back to Greece.
Oh, really?
And they stayed there until, well, my grandfather came back a year later because he couldn't find any work there, so he came back. But my grandmother stayed in Greece with the three kids. My mom got married in 1941, and to my father, Andrew Labanaris. And my aunt and uncle, they were younger than my mom. But in the 1939, 40, they closed. They couldn't come to America. They wanted to come, but they couldn't come.
Right. During the war.
So in 1945, when everything opened up, they decided, the two of them, they were going to come to America. And because my grandfather was still alive. Anyway, but my mother wanted to come, but she had me, just a baby.
Yeah.
And my father said, where are you going to go, with a baby and this and that. So she says, because she wanted to come and work.
Yeah.
So finally, what happened was she went, you have to go through doctors in order to see if you're healthy. So they went to Thessaloniki to go through, all the procedure. And she found out she was pregnant with my brother.
Oh,
Nick.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
So anyway, she comes back, and my father says, now where are you going to go? What are you going to do? How? So she decided to stay. She cried. She wanted to come so bad. In 1955, they notified my mom, if she didn't come to the United States by the end of 1955, she would lose her citizenship.
Oh, interesting.
So my mom said to my father, I'm going to go to America. But the only person she could take was my brother Harry. He was under 5. The others we were over the age of 5. So she couldn't take us, my father. We had to come later.
Now tell me, where was your mother and father from in Greece?
Macedonia, Pendalos.
From Pendalos?
Yes.
And your husband was from Pendalos?
Yes.
We'll speak
Yes.
about him
Yes.
later. So did they have other relatives or friends here? Why Manchester?
My mother's sister and brother were here.
Oh, that's right.
And her, And so, and then my father had his brother, Bill Labanaris. Kathy Labanaris' father. Did you know Kathy?
Yes.
Her father.
Oh.
Her grandfather.
Grandfather.
Yeah. He was my father's brother.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, my mother left our, town, our village, whatever, without us. We all stayed there with my dad. And it was my response. I was the oldest. I was that I was responsible for everything, even though I was only 11 years old.
No kidding.
So anyway, my mom came in the end of November, and then we came, of 55, and then we came in May of 1956
Okay.
with my dad and my siblings.
And were you speaking English?
No.
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 So
There
you
was
didn't-
nobody. Can I tell you this
Yes,
story?
please.
I don't know if you want to hear it, but do you want to hear it?
Yes.
Okay. We came on the boat, okay? And of course we had the lore was, part of the boat. And my dad was sick, all the time on 11 days we were there, 13 days. He was sick all that time. We thought he was going to die. So they had brought trunks and trunks of things from Greece, blankets, this and that, like they were going to find anything here, So they had trunks, and they had keys, and they had, I don't know how many locks on the keys. And my father had tied the keys around on a piece of rope. So he says to me, I'm going to die. Take the keys and make sure you don't lose the keys, he said to me. And take care of the kids, because I'm not going to make it. Anyway, well, he made it. So anyway, we got off the boat, and I love music. So I hear music, people playing outside. So this person nobody was waiting for us to take us to the Manchester. We didn't speak English. I mean, how we were going to get to Manchester, I don't know. But likely there was a young man on the boat that his uncle was going to pick him up. He was from Manchester. So he says, don't worry. He says, my uncle is coming. He's going to take us on the train. And so anyway, so the uncle is there. And, I left and I followed whatever the music was. And I'm there listening to the music. I've got short hair. I had blonde hair.
Oh.
And I had short hair. And I'm listening to the music now. So the guy says, is everybody ready? I mean, so we have to go and get the train because it's going to leave in a few minutes. My father says, oh my God, my daughter is missing. And she's got the keys too. Like, the keys were more important than me. So anyway, he says, I'm going to go find her. And the guy says, no, he says, you're going to get lost. This is New York. I'm going to go find her. So he came and taps me on the back and he says, are you Chrysanthe? And I said, yes. He says, honey, what are you doing here? You're going to get lost. I said, no, I'm just listening to the music. I go back and my father says to me, I'm going to kill you and you're going to lose the keys. And, like I said, the keys were more important than me. But to them, so anyway, we came to Manchester and my father was very proud. He didn't want to accept anything from anybody.
Right.
And because the U.S. was, because my mother was born here, they tried to help us, but my father wouldn't take anything from anybody, so. But it was good. It was good.
What did your father do?
He worked in the mills.
In the mills?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
in Greece, he had a grocery store.
oh, really?
Yeah, at the Chorion.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Infidel,
Yeah.
okay.
So, but here he worked in the mills. Yeah, Wombeck Mills, I think it was. Yeah, something like that.
And so you grew up in the old Greek section on Cedar Street?
I grew up. I don't know if you remember, but maybe you won't remember. No, you won't remember. Anyway, you know where the arena is right now, on Chestnut Street.
Yeah.
The Greek person had this big apartment building. I don't know how many apartments, and we lived there. It was nice. It was a nice place.
Yeah.
And the Malice Market was downstairs,
Oh,
underneath
okay.
the.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. It was. We had hardships. It was really hard because when we came from Greece, they didn't have all these special things like when you go to school they put you in a special class for learn English or whatever. They didn't have that. They just threw us in there, and they put me and my brother in third grade. I was 11, almost 12 years old. They put me in third grade.
Oh.
But to me, math, even spelling, geography, everything was easy for me because I knew everything. I knew how to do long division, and they would train 1 + 1 or 2 + 2, whatever. And to me, it was nothing.
Now, what school did you?
I went to Franklin.
Franklin School.
Yeah, in Manchester. Yeah,
Were there a lot of Greeks there?
a lot of Greeks there.
Yeah.
Because the whole neighborhood, Greeks and Irish, I think they were there. Yeah.
Were there a lot of new immigrants, or were these the children?
All new immigrants.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, all new immigrants, because a lot of them came 55, 56, 57, something like that.
Who were some of your contemporaries at the time? Do you remember?
My friends, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember Maria Cedas.
Yes.
She was a good friend of mine.
Oh.
Penny, she's the author. Karavasilis.
Akara Vasilis.
Yeah, she was a good friend of mine.
Oh.
Barbara Garris.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
we
that's
were all,
nice.
together.
Yeah. What was the home like? Did you speak Greek in the home, or did they say to you?
Greek, all Greek, because
Greek.
yeah, the parents didn't speak.
They didn't speak. Did you have Greek radio or Greek newspapers in the house?
We had Greek radio. We didn't have I don't think we had newspapers. I don't think.
Laios and whatever was
Yeah.
playing at the time.
Yeah. Yes.
Did you yourself go, for any reason, go to the Greek radio station at any point
No.
to be on the air?
No, I didn't.
'Cause I know there were people that were going.
No, I did not.
And for church, were you
St. George,
pretty much as
the
soon
one
as you
on
got
Hanover,
here?
the one on Pine Street.
Yeah.
We started with that. Actually, I never went to Sunday school because I had almost finished Sunday school in Greece. So there was no reason for me to go
Yeah.
again.
In Pendalifos, did you go to church there? When you
Yes,
were a
we
kid?
did.
You did.
We did go to church.
Everyone was faithful.
Not every Sunday, but we
Yeah.
did. There was no Sunday school there. We just learned from, when the priest talked and everything, things like that. And
Yeah. Do you remember who the priest was when you were a little girl here in Manchester?
in Manchester, tell you
So
the
hard
truth,
to
I don't
say.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember now. I cannot remember.
Were you in any church organizations? I know later in your life you got involved, you were saying, but was there anything like choir or anything that
I
you
wasn't
were
in the choir until 89, I think. I joined the choir,
Yeah.
but I was the teacher at Sunday school, and that's why I couldn't sing in the choir, because I kind of liked teaching Sunday school. I taught a couple of years Greek school.
Oh, good.
Then like I said, I joined the choir after that. I was on the Anagenesis board. I was on the Daughters of Penelope. I was on the board there, president, vice president, whatever.
Good. I'm curious at how and where you met your husband.
My husband, it was like a arranged marriage.
It was, because
Yeah.
you're both from Vandalopoulos.
My uncle and my mother actually made the plans and everything. It wasn't my idea, but
Really?
yeah.
And how did that work? Did all of a sudden were you brought to his house, or he came to your house?
No,
or?
I went to Greece and that was it.
Really?
Yeah. But it worked out. It's okay. It was okay.
Yeah. How soon was your first child born?
It was right away. I got pregnant right away. I got married in May, and I had Helen the next year in March.
That's great.
Yeah, I got married in 62, and then I had her in March of 63.
And then you had a boy after that?
No, I didn't have a boy. I had another girl,
You did?
but it was 8 years later.
Oh,
Yeah,
there was a big
Karen.
gap. Karen,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And so those are your two daughters?
My two daughters, and I have 4 granddaughters.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's so nice.
yeah.
Once you were married and you came here, you came with your marriage certificates, and then you had your first daughter, and you baptized her in the church?
Yes, in the St. George,
Mhm.
both of them.
Yeah, and so you were members and you were coming to church?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
What did you do? Were you just, were you... did
You mean
have a-
working?
Yeah.
About work?
Yeah.
Okay. I started working at Van Otis Chocolates. You know Van Otis Chocolates,
Oh,
right? I was
sure.
14 years old when I started working there. And I'm that kind of person that I want to learn everything. So I went all the way from the kitchen all the way to the front. I learned everything. And the lady that owned the place, she liked me. But she didn't show it. But she was always like mean to me, like, do this and do that. Can't you work any faster? Can't you do any this? But I was working fast and everything. So when I was about 15, I was doing her payroll, I was doing her bookkeeping, I was doing everything. Then I got married, and I used to go and work from 5 to 9. I closed for her, just for a year. But then I was taking care of my parents. My parents didn't have they didn't drive, they didn't, so I had to do everything for them. Anyway, so when after that, I stopped working 5 to 9. But I would go and help her around Christmas time when she was busy, Easter and everything else, because the lines were all the way out to the door.
Yeah.
So anyway, she was like trusted in everything in me, like, her balance her checkbook, do this, do that, and everything else. So when she passed away, she had written down that the store would go to me. Not own the store, but to run the store, because she had 5 nephews. So, but then before she died, she wanted me to go into partnership with her.
Really?
But
Isn't that interesting?
But the thing is, I had too much on my plate. I had, like I said, I had my parents, I had my kids. Wanted to make sure my kids I was there for my kids.
Yeah.
And so I told her no. So anyway, she left me in charge. She passed away in 1994.
Oh.
And I was running the store from 1994 until 1999, when the store was sold. They wanted me to stay, but they were changing things, so I left. I just left. I didn't. But then after that, like I said, my mother was very sick. I had my mother. Then I took care of all my 4 granddaughters.
Oh boy! So you were busy.
Because both my two daughters are pharmacists.
Oh, they are.
So they work long hours. So I would take care of the kids from 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock at night, until their husbands came home.
Yeah.
So I had them all this time until they were old enough to stay by themselves, like 13, 14.
Yeah. What about your extended family now?
What extent? What you're talking about extended?
So your
My siblings?
your siblings and their children.
My brother has 2 boys. Nick, he has 2 boys. They both live actually one of them moved back home. Andrew and Tommy. Andrew is in Rhode Island. He's married. He's got a son. I have, my sister has 2 kids, a boy and a girl. The girl is in New York. She's an architect. She married an engineer, and they have a little boy, Alex. And my other brother is not married. My brother, Harry. And that's your
family.
Yeah.
And on your husband's side?
My husband's side right now, there's only, he has a niece here. I don't know if you know Ann Samaras.
Mm-hmm.
She's my husband's. Actually, I call her my niece because she's so good to me.
That's nice.
That was my husband's, her mother and my husband, brother and sister.
Okay.
And then I have one in Greece, a niece in Greece, my husband's brother's daughter. And that's about that is.
That's it, okay. That's interesting, yeah. And you would go to Central High School?
I went to Central High School.
Were there any there were a lot of Greek teachers that were at Central.
At that time, not too many Greek teachers, no.
Mr. Graphiotis?
Mr. Graphiotis was there. Was he there when I went? I can't remember now.
Miss Kachukis was
Yes,
there.
yes. But I was taking general courses. I wasn't taking anything that I would have them.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Were there any celebrations? Do you remember any gatherings, whether they be church gatherings or organization gatherings?
Oh, we used to have all the time. They used to have dances all the time, and it was actually, most of them were on Pine Street, not Pine Street. Yeah, it is Pine Street.
Yeah.
But close to, between Cedar and Lake Ave. That building?
Okay, yes, that's right.
I don't know, it's not there, right? The building is not.
I don't think it's there anymore.
I don't know. I can't remember now. I haven't been going down that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that's what they had on the 3rd floor.
And was it were they record hops or did you have live music?
Yes, live music.
You did,
Yeah,
live music.
yeah.
Who was playing? Was it, do you remember?
I can't remember.
I
remember once I think it was Papuzzi.
Papuzzi was playing at one point, sure, yeah. He was around. They had a band in the late 50s.
Yeah.
And, Ernie Hadzigoga, Carl Hatzis Orchestra.
Yes, them too. Okay, you're right. Sock Mitchell,
That was that period when you first came over.
Yeah.
That's nice. And so now in church, when you were always in the church and you went through.
I was always in the church. I was cooking. I was doing just about everything. The Epitafio, like I said, I was the Sunday school supervisor for about 5 years or so, 6 years.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What years about?
84, I think 83 to 89.
Okay.
Then Nicky Mochulis took over.
Those were still big years.
Yeah,
You had
yeah.
probably a big staff.
Yes, I did, but it was Nicky Moratidis when she left.
Oh.
There was some kind of, with a priest, and she left right away.
Right
And so
away,
he approached me with Father Maharis.
Oh,
He
okay.
approached me and asked me if I could take over
Yeah.
Sunday school as a supervisor until Christmas, until he can find a, but he had no intentions of looking for anybody else. He just wanted me. So I says, okay, I will. I says, but don't call me a supervisor. I'm just going to help you. So, but anyway, because when she left, a lot of the teachers left. She had like, I would say over 200 kids in the Sunday school when she was here.
Kids, yeah.
When she left, we ended up with 75
Oh.
because the kids they loved her and they left, they were upset. It took me a couple of years before I could get back to 125, but that's about it. I couldn't get any more than that.
Had families left the church then?
Yes,
or?
yes, they didn't want to come. They went either to the Assumption or, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
It's too bad
Yeah,
to have
yeah,
those kinds
yeah,
of rifts.
yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Hey,
So,
what
but
a good
anyway, that's what happened. But by the end of the year, nothing happened by Christmas, but by the end of the year, I was hooked. I loved it. I loved it so much that,
Really? Yeah.
the kids we have wonderful, wonderful kids here in Sunday school, Greek
Yeah.
school. The kids are awesome. I'm telling you. It's just, I can't, tell you.
You love kids.
I love kids, but they're good. They're good kids, and that's what I like.
Now, you said you were teaching Greek school as well. Was that before?
Just what, there was after.
Oh, after.
My granddaughter, the oldest one, she was in Greek school. And the teacher they had she was losing kids every year because she was brought up in Greece.
Mm-hmm.
And she was used to different kinds of teaching. They do different kind of teaching. Just like Mr. Kitses was a teacher. Mr. Kitses was a nice teacher, but he was tough with the kids. And you can be tough with the kids because they have school all day long. And then they come to the Greek school in the afternoon. They're tired. You can't be yelling at them. You can't be telling them, well, you don't know this. Well, they're kids. Do you know what I'm saying? Even if they learned a couple of words a day, I think to me would be perfect. So when I started teaching that year, when I said, just for a year, I started talking to them in Greek, like learning a few Greek words, and they loved it. They loved when when they learn a few words here and there.
Did you have them do poems?
Well, yes,
You did.
yeah.
Okay, so you worked up to that.
Yeah.
Which is very nice.
Yeah.
And what other organizations you were in? The Anagenesis?
I was the Anagenesis, the Daughters of Penelope.
Oh.
I think my husband was in the know. I don't think I was in the know. I've never been in the know. Yeah.
Let's talk for a minute about your husband.
Okay.
Okay. What was? Someone had told me that he did these.
He did.
benches here.
He did.
They're
He did.
beautiful.
Yeah. He did.
And later in life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
really something.
Yeah, because I went home, I was working here, I was doing something, and somebody says to me, I said, tell my husband. So I went home, and I says to him, I says, church, he says, why do you have to all volunteer for me all the time? You're doing that volunteering. I says, come on now, seriously. I said, you have to go. So he came and he did that. Then it happened with St. Nick's.
Oh, really? He helped there as well?
Yeah. When they were doing the elevator and the everything else, the outside there, building, they don't have much money,
Right.
So I was talking to Roxanne Sturgis. She's a friend of mine. So she says, we're doing this. She says, because she knew I was going to say something. So she said, I says, okay. I says, so I went home and I says, he says, again, you volunteer. This was earlier. So he said, again, you volunteer me. Don't you see how much work I have? He was busy he had a lot of customers. And I says, just take a Saturday and go and do something. I says to him, it's a church. Don't you understand? He says, okay. So he went there. And I guess everybody was praising him. Oh, how nice, Hercules, you're doing such a good job, blah, 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 blah. And he was in his glory. So he came back home. He said, I'm going back tomorrow. I says, no, you've got customers. I says to him, go do your customers for a few days, and then go back again. And that's what he did. But he loved it after.
Someone said that Jim was saying that he remembers he used to do windows. Was he a contractor?
He was a contractor. He was building homes. He built my home in Bedford.
Oh, really?
He built a home up in York for me. Yeah. And he built 1, 2, 3, 4. He built 4 in Manchester and 2 in Bedford. And 3 in Bedford. He built my daughters too.
Just amazing.
And but the thing is, it was hard because you had to, it was hard selling brand new homes. It wouldn't sell right away. So so he started doing additions, which was, and he had all the doctors in Bedford, all the lawyers in Bedford, word of mouth.
Busy.
Yeah.
And he passed away in 2018.
Yes.
Yes, I mean,
He had Alzheimer's, and he was also diabetic.
I would like you to look back over the span of when you've been here in Manchester. Were there any moments, any priests or people in the community that you think made a real difference?
The one that I really liked was Father Benedus.
Really?
Oh, he was my favorite. He was just something else. That person had such a charisma, such a, nice man. Yeah, he made a difference to me. My daughter Karen, she was small, she was young, and she was 4 years old, and she would love every Sunday, come on, Mom, we have to go to church, early in the morning,
He was very charismatic and
Very.
beautiful voice.
Yes,
Opened his
yes,
mouth.
nice man, nice, nice,
Yeah.
very nice
Too
man.
bad we lost him.
I know,
Yeah,
I know,
That's the way it goes.
I know. And he passed away too, and nice man, really, really nice man.
Were there any priests or hierarchs that came, bishops, archbishops that maybe came where there were special events, anything that you remember like that?
No, I don't remember. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I really don't. No.
Yeah. And for the community here, what would you hope would be something, what would you like to see for St. George, for this community?
I like what you people are doing. I like that. I like that you bringing back all the, because we've never had it. People remember,
That's great.
Yeah, I like that.
That's good.
I like
Yeah.
that what you're doing. I like what, I really do.
Thank you.
And I listen on Tuesday night.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
I do
thank
listen.
you.
Yeah, you guys are doing a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a memory thing because
Yeah.
we're all connected.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
realize how
Yeah.
important all
Yeah,
of this is.
yeah. And you see pictures and you say, oh my God. Actually, it was a picture the guys were showing was me a long time ago. And Maria says, that's Chrysanthe Nagios. And she said, I recognize that dress. And I says to Maria, how did you recognize the dress? She said, I remember that dress because I liked it, she said.
That's so
I says, oh
sweet.
my goodness.
Was there, I asked you about priests. Were there any people in the community that may have been nice to you when you came over as a
Everybody was nice. Everybody was nice. Everybody. I can't just say one person. Everybody was really nice. Everybody tried to help us. And it was good. Because we didn't have anything, and then people would bring us, a table or this and that. I mean, because
Yeah.
we didn't have much.
Right. I mean, I can't imagine.
Yeah,
coming
it was
from-
hard. Coming from Greece with 4 kids, starting up
Yeah.
it's hard. And like I said, my dad was very proud. He wouldn't take anything from.
Wow. I've
know.
been to Pendalifos.
We have been.
I know
Yeah.
that.
It's nice. It's nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
It
it's a
really is.
nice place.
Was he involved in the I think his obituary said he was involved in the Pendalifos Society?
Yes.
In the Pan
Yes.
Macedonian
Yes.
Society?
Yes.
There were a lot of societies back then.
Yes, they were.
Do you remember particularly GAPA or the AHEPA? None of that.
I remember the AHEPA because my husband belonged to the AHEPA.
Mm-hmm.
But the GAPA I don't remember. It was like before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't. It died down, I think, after a while. Yeah.
It did.
The GAPA.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, I don't.
It's so exciting since you and I met in the office
Yes.
a couple of years ago, and you looked up and you said, I don't remember you.
I
And we started a conversation.
don't remember honest, I don't remember you for the
Yeah.
life of me. Then when I saw you, I said, oh my God. I says, where was he?
In a mix with hundreds of other kids
Yeah.
back then. The community was so lively.
It was big, and they had those picnic grounds, and Nicky used to take them at the end of we used to take them at the end of the year for the picnic, and it was the kids would look forward to that.
Oh, they loved it.
After they sold the picnic grounds, and I was the Sunday school supervisor, she would have the picnic for a couple of years out here, but it wasn't much fun, to have it out here.
It's not the
So
same.
after I took over the first year, I said, what am I going to do with the kids? What am I going to do? And then we had Nick Meletios as a president.
Oh, yes.
So I went up to him and I says, Nick, he says, whatever you want, Chrysanthe, all you have to do is ask me. He said, I was thinking, because I asked my daughter Karen, what do you think about Canopy Lake Park? I says, take the kids to Canopy Lake Park. She said, oh yeah, Mom, yeah, we'll go there.
Oh,
So finally I says to him, I have an idea. I says, I'm thinking of taking the kids, renting a couple of buses, and then taking the kids to Canopy Lake. What do you think? He says, anything you want. So I says, I was thinking to have the kids go in for free. We'll pay for the whatever. And he says, we'll pay whatever. And another thing, I says that chaperones too, whoever comes, they can, go in for free. He says, that's good. He says, we'll pay for that too. And I says, another thing. He says, what else do you want? I says, I just want to give $5 to each child so they can get lunch from.
Oh.
He says, okay. He says, I'll do that. We'll do that. So when I gave him the $5, it was like giving him, I don't know, and then we can go for free. We don't have to pay. I said, no, you don't have to. I had 2 full buses. And then some parents came with their kids. They drove. Parents came.
That's great.
And we went to all the rides and everything. It was so much fun. We had so much fun.
That's right. It's an amusement park.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
remembered
We had
it.
so much fun. And that's what they've been doing every year now.
When you, one of the things that surprised me when I came back to Manchester is I noticed the community is fragmented again. When we were growing up, our organizations were mixed. We had people from St. Nicholas, from the Assumption, from St. George. All of that
Now,
fell apart.
they don't do that. Actually, the Assumption doesn't want be with us. They just don't want. They want to be on their own.
Oh.
Because you have all the Greeks that came from Greece later, and that's what you have at the Assumption. And they just don't want to mix with St. George. I don't know what it is, but we tried to do things with them, but they don't want to do it. So
It's interesting.
I don't know what it is.
Maybe the next generation will
I
be
hope,
able to do something.
it would be nice, it would be nice. The only good thing is they take our kids for Greek school. And I feel so, I don't know, I feel so bad because we're such a big community. Why can't we have Greek school here? We've got the rooms. They don't have enough rooms there. All they have is downstairs, and they have them all together and they separate them with curtains.
Yeah. I don't understand.
Huh? Come on
Does that
now.
make sense?
But
You know who hurts in all of this are the children.
that's why. That's what I'm saying.
We had our Goya in here, and there were maybe 8 kids. And I said, where is everybody?
They have things, Meleti. They have other things. They have basketball. They have baseball. And they do things now on Sundays, practice, like dancing, the girls. They wanted to start. I was the supervisor, not the supervisor, in charge of the Maids of Athena. We had a Maids of Athena.
Oh, you did?
I had about 15 girls.
No kidding.
This was, let's see, must have been in 75, 76. I had 15 girls, and we did so much with the girls. And now they're trying to start that. But you can't because...
What year was that? 75, 76?
Yeah.
So my sister was in it with Barbara George. They graduated in 74. But that was just... There was a Maids of Athena active then.
Yeah. I don't remember them. I think they were a little bit older. I don't think they... and then there was... the ones that I remember that I had was and Anna Dongas.
Right.
I had Maria
Yes.
Dongas. I had Maria Giodas.
Oh.
I had my daughter Helen. I had Joyce Giodas. And I had Beth Panegas. I don't know if you know her.
I know Beth.
Oh, that girl is amazing. I like that girl. She's so nice.
Very nice.
And they were so nice, Meletios. The kids, the girls were so nice. They would listen to me and everything else. They were 15, 16, 17. I mean, Andrea Sturgeon, Stephanie Sturgeon,
right.
Joyce Scaperas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they were good. And then another one, Antonia Bariamas. I don't know if you know her.
No, jeez, no.
Costa Bariamas that's married to Beth?
Yes.
His sister.
His sister.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
It's been a long time. Your
Yeah.
memory's very sharp.
yeah, yeah.
And these people are still around.
They're still around, actually. I saw Beth. Had to go to Nashua, church in Nashua, and she saw me, and she has the two boys. She has two boys. And she said, she made me feel so good. But I did a lot, especially for her, because she didn't have a mother, and I felt,
Yeah.
So she says to the boys, she said, this is Mrs. Nagios. She said, she's my mentor.
No.
She said to the boys.
That's very nice.
And I felt so, I'm telling you, I says, Beth, you were the best. She said, but Mrs. Nagios, you helped me a lot. I says, thank you, honey, I'm glad I did.
Right.
So
You've touched a lot
the
of people's lives.
nice girls, they're nice, the nice girls. I can't say, enough for this. They listen to me. They
Yeah.
listen. But you can't get them nowadays because they've got dancing, they've got this, they've got that. They don't want to bother with that. It's too much.
We're
In those days,
competing
we didn't
with
have
it.
much.
We didn't, but there was a lot going on. The boys played basketball
Yes.
here. They had
That's what I'm saying.
activities.
That's
There
what
was
I'm saying.
music, everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just too
Yeah.
much.
Do you
So
think we can get back to it?
I don't think so. You can't get them back now, Meletios. There's no way you can get them back. I don't care what anybody says. I really don't. That's my opinion, so I don't know.
I look at people my age that go away from the church.
Yeah,
they have kids,
for a while.
They stay and they go in, they're away for a while, and then someone dies.
Yeah,
And then they say, oh, I should have been here all
yeah,
along.
I should, yeah,
and
yeah,
come back.
yeah.
Or they realize, boy, those people were so nice.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky I grew up with
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
And then I wonder if they're thinking, did I provide that for my kids?
yeah, yeah. You're generous. But you can, though. You can because they have friends. If, let's say you have kids and your kids, you want him to come to church or whatever. And they had friends, and their friends have other things to do. Oh, we're going to go here. We're going to go there. They say, well, why would I go to church? I don't want to go to church. I want to go with my friends. And that's what it is. So,
Yeah.
But in those days, we didn't have that. We didn't have, I don't know what to tell you. We don't know all these things. It's just different.
There's a lot
And it's
going
hard to
on.
get back to whatever we had.
Yeah, it is.
You guys can try, but I'm telling you, I don't know. I don't know.
I think us, that we realize how important this is, how
Yeah.
important the church is.
Yes, yes.
Informing
Of
us
course,
as
of
people,
course.
in our belief system.
Of course.
Yeah, and I always say, when I get older, I hope there's someone there to open the door for me.
Yeah, yes, somebody will. Somebody, because you're doing all good things, okay? And he's watching up there.
That's good. We're right underneath the
Yes, I
altar
know,
right
I know.
here.
So
And
he,
you've been going to church now. You've been in the choir as well.
yeah,
When
for a
did
long time. I started, like I told you, it must have been in '99 that I joined the choir
Yeah.
after I left being the supervisor, Sunday school supervisor. And I just love singing. I love singing. Then Kathy had we're doing the Christmas pageant,
That's right.
and for a while.
Yeah.
And then we stopped because people were tired of, because we had rehearsals. Come September, like every night, we had rehearsals for that choir, for the Christmas. And so the other day she says to me, Chrysanthe, she says, I'm thinking of starting a choir again for concert. She says, would you? I said, yes. She said, oh, thank God. She said,
Oh, that's great.
so
It's a lot
she
of
might,
work.
she might, it is a lot of work, but she's not working right now, so, she's not teaching, so it'll be easier for her.
Someone donated VHS tapes of those past concerts.
Oh, okay.
So we have them, and we're trying to think, should we show them on the screen here sometime? That
Show
would
them on
be
the screen.
nice.
It would, we did such a good job, really.
Yeah.
We,
Now,
and we got all the churches together, except for the Assumption. They don't want to come.
oh,
We had one person from the Assumption.
yeah.
She came for a couple of times, and then she left. I don't know, maybe they told her not to. I don't know what it was, but
Yeah.
she...
What about other communities? There seemed to be a lot of good ties between us in Nashua or us in Concord.
Yeah.
Did you experience that?
No, I haven't really.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but I haven't.
Yeah. So when we contacted you and asked you if you would come in, you must have been thinking, boy, what are they going to ask me? What am I going to say? Was there something that you wanted to tell us?
No, whatever you want to know, whatever you want to know from me, and I can tell you, I'll tell you, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I have no nothing.
Yeah. Well, you've given us a lot of great information today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
And
you're doing a good job, really. All of you are doing a good job. Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. That was excellent, Chrysanthe.
Thank you.
You gave a lot of great information.
Well, I hope I did.
I appreciate